Outlander earthquake, Sam Heughan and Caitriona Balfe announce their withdrawal from final project. That morning, the soft patter of rain on a wooden roof in the Scottish Highlands was the soundtrack to the chaos that was about to unfold. Fiona, a young Scottish journalist covering television and film, sat at her computer screen in her small office in Edinburgh, her mind filled with questions. She had received a peculiar email from an anonymous entertainment industry source. Sam and Cat are out of the final season. The show is going to change dramatically. The words sent a shiver down Fiona's spine. Was it really true that the two people who have been with Outlander since the beginning, the two spirits of Jamie Fraser and Claire Randall, were planning to walk away from the final project? She quickly flipped open the next email, a recording of a confidential conversation between a senior production assistant and a finance manager, which read, "It's decided, when the script is finished, Sam and Cat will refuse to participate. They're worried that something in the final project will ruin their image." Fiona felt her heart pounding. A small part of her said, "It's just a lie." But a larger part of her told herself, if it was true, it would be the biggest shock to Outlander fans in years. She called Brian, a longtime colleague who had been in contact with some of the crew. Brian's voice trembled. "Theo, I've heard, they're in talks to not do the final season, but there's no confirmation yet. Rumors are circulating within the company, but everyone's afraid of being burned if they speak out." She and Brian set about investigating, contacting extras, checking contract licenses, finding out if there had been any secret changes to the shooting schedule. Each lead was met with a wall of silence or a polite refusal. Silent unease. 2 weeks later, social media was abuzz. A fan fiction account posted, "Who said Jamie and Claire won't be in the finale? I can't believe it." Comments under the post, fans booed, denied, threatened to sue if it was true. However, many also turned cautionary. The discussion began to spread internationally. Fiona received a message from another source, who claimed to be a member of the production crew. "Sam and Cat don't want to film more. They're afraid the final script will make their characters less interesting. There's a lot of pressure from producers and writers to add controversial scenes, which they can't agree to." She was startled. If this news was true, the price to pay for Outlander after the end of the series could be the image of the characters being hurt. Meanwhile, Caitriona Balfe and Sam Heughan remained silent. In recent small interviews, they laughed when asked about sequels or post-Outlander projects. Both said they were focused on playing Claire and Jamie in the final season, but did not confirm that they would be involved until the end. One night, Fiona was invited to an internal screening of the final season, a rough cut. In a darkened auditorium, she and a few lucky people were invited to watch. The screen showed emotional scenes, climactic dialogue, but there was no sign of the two main characters. Jamie and Claire disappeared at the 70th minute of the film. The ending scene was not explained clearly, just the background music played and the screen went black. She screamed in her heart, "Something is wrong." When the screening ended, a mysterious person stepped out, leaned over, and whispered in Fiona's ear. "That's just a small part of the big change. Check Sam and Cat's contracts. They have the right to refuse to participate if there are creative conflicts." The shocking announcement. The official announcement date was set, a press conference at Edinburgh Castle, lit by flashbulbs and cameras everywhere. Fans lined up outside the castle from early morning, holding Jamie Claire pictures, tartan shirts, banners, "Don't end Outlander like this, we want Jamie and Claire till the last." At exactly 10 a.m., the MC took the stage. "Ladies and gentlemen, we have an important announcement from the Outlander crew," he announced. A few clicks, a tense silence, Then the spotlight fell on two people, Sam Heughan and Caitriona Balfe, side by side. Both dressed smartly, Caitriona in a navy dress, Sam in a black suit. Their faces were tense but their eyes were determined. All the cameras were on them. Sam took a breath, stepped up to the microphone. "Hello everyone, thank you for coming. I, Sam, and Caitriona have something very important to say. We will not be participating in the final project that the crew plans to organize after the end of season 8. A scream rang out in the auditorium. Caitriona continued, "We both considered it very carefully. We love Outlander, we love our characters. But when we read the new script, there were many profound changes, not only to the story, but to the nature of Jamie and Claire. We could not stand in front of the audience and do something that was against our hearts." She cleared her throat. "If we agreed, it would be a betrayal to the fans who have loved and lived with this character for so many years. So, sorry, but we refuse." The reporter ran up to question, "But the final season will end. What would it be like without Jamie and Claire?" Sam replied, "I don't know. It was the producers' and writers' decision. We just knew we couldn't do that part." Caitriona added, I didn't turn down Outlander, just turned down the final project, which was kind of a bonus. We're still going to do season 8, the main season that was supposed to be the end of the story." The crowd went wild. Screams, questions. Cameras were rolling. The briefing ended mid-activity. Fiona stood in the middle of the crowd leaving the castle, feeling like she'd just rewritten the earthquake in Outlander history. Media storm. Immediately after the meeting, a series of articles, news reports, and commentary videos appeared. The Outlander Global fan page posted Sam and Kat's comments, along with comments from fans everywhere. Some expressed support for the actors' creative decisions. Others felt betrayed. How can there be Outlander without Jamie Claire? A US TV talk show invited Fiona as a guest. She recounted the investigation, the recordings, and the screening of the cut without Jamie Claire. When asked if she had evidence of a contract, she said, "I have access to the preliminary contract. There is a right of refusal clause if the script later violates the nature of the character, a vague condition but one that can be triggered if the actors feel it is not suitable." In the forums, a group of fans decided to send a petition to the studio and stars, demanding that Jamie Claire be kept in all future Outlander projects. They collected hundreds of thousands of signatures in a few hours. A blogger specializing in behind-the-scenes TV biographies opened an article analyzing, if Sam and Kat do not participate in the final season, the film crew can use a replacement, or focus on supporting characters like Brianna, Roger, or create a spin-off. But doing so is risky, because the biggest attraction of Outlander is the love between Jamie and Claire. The studio initially responded, "The decision of the two actors is their personal right, but we are discussing with the screenwriter to change the final project to make it reasonable." However, this did not calm public opinion. Many people think that the studio is lowering the value of the two actors. The pain of fans. Maria, a girl in Vietnam, an Outlander fan since the first season, quietly sat in a small room, reading the news. When she heard Sam and Kat announce that they would not participate in the final project, she burst into tears. Jamie Claire is the reason she loves the show, the image she finds comfort in when she's sad. She wrote a long blog post, recounting the first time she watched Outlander, the first time she cried over the scene where Jamie walks into the snowy fields to find Claire, the time she told her friends, "Jamie and Claire are not just characters, they are the only love I believe in." The post went viral, shared across fan groups in Vietnam and internationally. In the US, a couple who had an Outlander-themed wedding cancelled their wedding because of this incident. They felt like their wedding would lose its soul without the two main characters. A fan in Brazil live-streamed holding a photo of Jamie and Claire, crying, saying, "I don't want the world of Jamie Claire to end like this." Fiona followed social media, saw the hashtag Jamie and Claire forever rise. She felt like she was witnessing an event bigger than any show, not the end of Outlander, but the end in the hearts of fans. The internal battle. Behind the scenes, in the studio conference rooms, the writers and producers faced a major challenge. They held a special meeting with Sam and Caitriona to discuss it. Fiona secretly contacted someone close to the crew, who overheard. Sam and Cat asked to read the final version of the supporting script, the final project, before deciding. When they read it, they discovered many scenes where Claire or Jamie lost their essence. Jamie became violent, Claire became normalized in the modern romantic model, not commensurate with the strength she had shown. They said, "I can't do that," a production manager said in the meeting. "If we keep the final project without Jamie Claire, it would be self-harm. But if we force them, it would be a loss of artistic dignity." Outside, Fiona waited for the results. She receives a letter from someone in the small production team. "There's an internal vote tomorrow morning. Either the studio pulls the spin-off, or finds a replacement for Sam Cat. Keep it a secret." Fiona understands. The battle to decide the future of Outlander is taking place behind the scenes, and depends on the choice between artistic merit and commercial gain. Final decision. Early in the morning, Fiona receives a notice. A second press conference will take place in London, with Starz Studio and the main team releasing a statement. She and Brian travel to London together, cameras and microphones in hand, hoping for a final resolution. At the press conference, the studio executives step onto the stage, with Sam Caitriona standing by. "The flashbulbs are blinding," Starz president said in a low voice. "After many nights of negotiations, we are pleased to announce that the final spin-off project has been cancelled. Sam Heughan and Caitriona Balfe will only be in Season 8, the true conclusion of Outlander, as fans originally expected. Any future projects in the Outlander universe will be built anew, without the two main characters tied to it." The audience erupted. Fans cheered, cried, hugged. Sam spoke up. "Thank you. We know this decision will not be easy for some to understand, but it is what we believe is right. Jamie and Claire, their image, must be protected." Caitriona continued, "We will close Season 8 with all our hearts. And when the lights go out, we want people to remember them like these original images, unaltered by other brands." Fiona panned the camera, capturing the fans' emotional expressions, joy, tears, hand fireworks that lasted for several seconds, as if a final rescue had succeeded. The light of hope. A few days later, fan forums spread images of the press conference, videos, and analysis articles. Maria in Vietnam watched live at night, crying with joy. Fiona wrote a big announcement: "Outlander is saved. Jamie Claire is still here." The post spread like wildfire. During the briefing, Sam revealed, when he and Caitriona read the spin-off script, the producers agreed to rework many scenes so that they no longer felt creative conflict. Under pressure from the decision to accept, the director and screenwriter went back to the presentation table, removing the distorted scenes, keeping the characters' souls. Caitriona says, "It's a fact of life in the industry. Sometimes you have to say no, to protect the core." The following month, the studio released the original 8-part forum, featuring Jamie Claire from start to finish, perfecting every scenario they loved. The final side project, a spin-off called Fraser's Legacy, a post-staging project, was indefinitely overdue. Fiona was invited to broadcast internationally to recount the investigation and how Sam Caitriona used their right to say no to define the artistic work. She concludes, "A film is not a production machine, it's the heart and soul of the people involved." When the main actors stood up and said we're not doing it again if the characters are wrong, it wasn't a personal act, it was a message to the world. Art must be protected. Memories and Legacy. A year later, Season 8 aired. Fans cried as Jamie and Claire walked into the Highland scene. The final line was spoken, their eyes met, it was all a long goodbye. Every spin-off, sequel, and chapter image had the caption, Jamie Claire are irreplaceable. They were protected by the actors' difficult decision. Maria organized an Outlander fan meeting in Hanoi, referencing Season 8, recounting shocking news, revisiting memories. Many said that, thanks to the decision to refuse the final side project, Outlander was kept in their hearts as an original story. Some fans built a small gallery, pictures of Sam Caitriona at the press conference, the deleted script notes, fan letters sent from all over. Fiona continued to write a series of articles on artist rights, on the influence of fans in modern society. She was invited to speak at film conferences, retelling the Outlander story as a classic lesson. Sometimes, not participating is a way to protect values more valuable than any continuing event. And whatever news about Outlander, fans reminded, Jamie Claire are irreplaceable. That sentence became immortal like a vow.